Hello, everybody. I'm back. Welcome to the Thursday night Minutes with Milo live stream. Whoa, hold on. There it is. I'm still cutting off the top of my head. I am going to have to do something about my. There's Garthok. Have you been waiting in the wings, buddy? Just waiting for me to jump in here so you could say hello. Well, hello. Back at you. All right. I can't take it. I'm either going to have to slump down in my chair. How's that? Let me get up in here. I might be able to do it from here. See, if I sit up like I normally do, it cuts the top of my head off. Yeah, I've been here forever, he says. It's been like, I don't know, 6.5 minutes. Well, I had to change the title of the thing. I wanted to say Soakyer. The soakier, the better. And it just said the soaker, the better. So then I tried to figure out if Soakyer was a real word. And it ain't. Even though ain't is, Soakyer is not. So I just guessed at it. Took a shot at the spelling, which, spell it like it sounds, and it's all wrong. And so, here we are. We're late. I don't know. Can y'all hear those dogs in the background, like way back in there, downstairs on the other side of the house? I can. It drives me crazy when they start barking at nothing. Or the cat. It's probably the cat on the yard, your front porch playing with bugs or something. Anyway, tonight's show is brought to you by X. Yeah, you probably can't hear it. It's just, oh, they drive me crazy because I can hear them muffled barking. It's like, if you ever lived in an apartment and you're on one side, even though you have a common wall, you might be on the other side of that room, and then they're on the other side of their room hollering, and you can just barely hear some of the conversation blah, 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 through the wall, and it like gets in your mind, and you're going, oh my gosh, either speak up so I can hear it or shut up. I can't take the in between. Kind of like that. The reason I did this show is because of X. And on my feed, Roberto's back. Has everybody been messing with their names? It's Robert Bradford 1, Garthog-V7V, and they both have the @ symbols. Are those? Have you figured it out? Are those your handles now? Your YouTube handles? Probably. But I enjoy it. I'm just happy that y'all are here. So on my X feed, I don't follow too many things, but one of the things I follow on my Minutes with Milo X is historic vids. It's supposed to be videos, but of course, like many other things, it has evolved into other things. And anyway, it had a post about Lonnie Johnson. I hope I spelled his name right. Yes, Johnson, not Johnston, Johnson. And I thought it was an interesting little, post. So I read the full article that they put out. And I said, you know what? I like it. I'm going to do a show about this dude. And it's not really about, it is about one small aspect of his life, which apparently he has many aspects of his life. but it's a small aspect that affects probably lots and lots of people that are going to not watch my video. And the small number that do watch this video, after it's a video but not live, they're going to recognize this, and it affects their lives too. So I thought I would do it. And it affects their lives, I would think, in a positive way, but it depends on your outlook. If you're the giver or the receiver of this dude's particular invention. And he has several patents, that kind of stuff. But this one particular invention touches millions of lives. And it's the Super Soaker squirt gun, the big thing. You pump it up, you put lots of water in it, it shoots a stream way over there. All right? So I'll tell you a story, a funny story. It's not a funny story, but I'll tell you the story of how I tried to get the thumbnail for tonight's show via AI, Gemini AI, because why? I can't get Grok to work on this computer. I thought I was onto something. I did that last show's thumbnail in 2 or 3 asks. So you ask Gemini to image you something or draw you something. Anyway, so we'll go over that. But Lonnie Johnson is the inventor of the Super Soaker as we know it. It was sold as something else, the Quick Drencher or something. We'll look at that. We'll learn that. And he got kind of shafted by, I know it's hard to believe, by a big corporation. But in his underdog story, I'm trying to fix this screen here. I'm sorry, I'm distracted a little bit. In his underdog story, he is the victor. Or so it seems. And if he likes it, I like it, you know. And it worked out for him. Let's put it that way. I'm sure he's okay with it. So this was the final thumbnail image. I got fed up with Gemini doing something, and I said, man, just pour a bucket of water over his head. It's the Super Soaker. Okay? So there you go. That's what I come up with. Roberto is correct. He did get buku dollars recently for that patent. And I don't know how recent it was. Because I'm like you. When I saw the post on my X feed, I thought, oh, we got it yesterday. But I think we'll read up here. I think it was several years ago. And it's probably just, you saw it on your news feed this morning. Okay. Robert's on top of it. I don't know what kind of news feed it is, but that's cool. We'll look and see what he got it. I don't think he got it like recently. I think he got it a few years back, which is weird. Why would it come up now if he got it a few years back? But we'll look at that, and then we'll look at his history. You know, how he got started and how this kind of played out. I don't understand all of the lawsuit part, but that's not really important. It's important that intentionally or unintentionally, the company that has bought the patent or toy or whatever didn't give him his just rewards, but he ended up getting a settlement. So anyway, all right, so let's skip past that. Get up here. Let's see. Oh, by the way, as a side note, Robert, if you're going to tell a whole story in the chat, I don't have a show. So he says, Robert says it was 2013, which is, don't you find that kind of weird? That, I mean, if he got the settlement in 2013, he got the settlement in 2013. Why is it just now popping up? Like I said, it popped up in your news feed. It popped up on my historic vid, X follower thingy job. I wonder why that is. And I'm going to say it's weird. Something happened, algorithms, but why your news feed and my X feed? I mean, they're totally separate things, right? It's not like me and you were sitting at lunch talking about the Super Soaker, and our phones are secretly listening in on that crap, and then it, sends us ads and stories about the Super Soaker guy. I mean, how does that happen? Something happened newsworthy enough that somebody picked up on it, and then it just kind of snowballed, or something picked up on it, maybe. Telepathy? Maybe. Garthog believes in telepathy now. Is this on? Hello? Side note. Lonnie Johnson is an inventor and an engineer, but also there is a Lonnie Johnson that is blues and jazz musician. Best known for being an influential American blues and jazz singer, guitarist, violinist, and songwriter. He is recognized as a pioneer of jazz guitar. So Robert says, yep, but it's all controlled by Big Brother. What can we get these people talking about? Well, maybe. Why do they want us talking about Lonnie Johnson's invention of the Super Soaker and the millions of dollars he got paid as a settlement? So, if one of y'all will remind me at the end of the show, we'll look at Lonnie Johnson, the blues and jazz musician, and see what kind of music he came up with. Not the TV show. Yep, but it's all controlled by Big Brother. Oh, buddy, I don't even watch the Big Brother stuff in the space house, space cadet house, or whatever. I'm into real TV, Survivor, which is pretty real, I guess. Dude gets bit on the heel by a poisonous snake, but it doesn't poison him. What? Hello? What kind of poisonous snake bites you and doesn't poison you? That's really weird. Well, never mind. Let's not get sidetracked. Don't get me sidetracked. All right. So, I want to know more about the inventor. Okay. So, Lonnie George Johnson, Georgie, the inventor and engineer. Okay. So, he's an exceptional figure known for creating one of the best-selling toys of all time. Summary of his life and key innovations. He was earned a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and a Master of Science in Nuclear Engineering from Tuskegee University. Oh, excuse me, Robert. Venomous snake, not poisonous snake. So, I dare you to bite the head off a venomous snake and then tell me you don't get poisoned. Which is it? I don't know. Oh. So is it venomous if they bite you and inject you, but it's poison if you bite them and die? I think maybe we're onto something. All right. Tuskegee. Tuskegee University. He was a systems engineer at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, where he worked on major groundbreaking missions, including the Galileo mission to Jupiter and the Cassini mission to Saturn. He was member of the U.S. Air Force. He worked on the stealth bomber B-2 program. He's received multiple awards from NASA and the Air Force for his contributions. All right, so he's smart. He's a smart dude. Let's see. We don't want to know that. I don't know. Grok told me about, where he was born, what his father did, how he got involved in all this. And now I'm going to have to ask Gemini about that stuff. All right, so let's see. So it says Lonnie Johnson's childhood was defined by curiosity, a love for tinkering and overcome challenges while growing up in Mobile, Alabama. His father was a World War II veteran and a skilled handyman, encouraged Lonnie's interest in mechanics and science. Due to financial restraints, his father taught his six children how to build their own toys. That's pretty cool. Like a real Santa Claus. Lonnie was constantly taking things apart to see how they worked. He famously disassembled his sister's doll to understand what made her eyes close. By the age of 13, he famously built his own go-kart out of junkyard scraps and a lawnmower engine, a drive that ended when the police pulled him over. He also once nearly burned the house down attempting to mix his own rocket fuel. His nickname at Williamson High School was an all-black school in Mobile, gave him the nickname the Professor, his friends at Williamson High School, because of his intelligence and passion for science. In 1968, it doesn't say when he was born. There's my picture. It doesn't say when he was born, okay? But he was a senior in high school in 1968. So let's just say he was 18 because that's going to make the math a little better, easier for me. So you take 18 from 68, and what do you get? About 1950. So he was born in about 1950. 4950. All right? During his senior year, he built a compressed air powered robot named Linux. I'm not making it up. Linux. L-I-N-E-X. It's right here. See that? Linux. Out of junkyard parts. He entered it into the regional science fair at the University of Alabama, where he was the only black student in the competition and won first prize. Kudos to him. Famous University of Red Tails. I saw the movies. Saw the movies of what? Not university, military base. Same city. So Mobile, Alabama, or Tuskegee. Tuskegee was the famous university for the Red Tails. Saw the movies, not the university military base. Tuskegee military base. Okay. Tuskegee Airmen, Red Tails. Gotcha. So you didn't watch a movie about the university. You watched a movie about the Tuskegee Airmen. Nicknamed, I guess, call sign, whatever, Red Tails. Was it an all-black squadron? Something? Yeah, Robert, it's a little off subject, but just all kind of mixed in there together. Roundabout, hoochie woochie, all together. Yes, all black squadron. Okay, I think I've seen that advertised. Back to the topic. So he was the only black student entered into the competition and he won first prize in this thing, science fair at the University of Alabama. He went to attend Tuskegee University on a math scholarship where he earned both a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering and a Master of Science degree in Nuclear Engineering. Okay, so he's pretty daggone smart because you figure, right, 68, he's a senior, 69, 70, he's in college, gets a Bachelor of Science degree, 4 years at 74, and then goes to a Master's in Nuclear Engineering. Right there, probably when nuclear was really hot. Get me? Really hot. His persistence and innovation spirit from childhood ultimately led to a successful career, including his later work at NASA and, of course, the invention of the Super Soaker. Okay, so that was about his childhood. We'll back up here. I'm skipping over these silly. I'm going to get you to these pictures in a second. All right. The Super Soaker invention. Garthog is hard at Google searching. Tommy Johnson, 1896-56. Nope. And Lonnie Johnson, 1899 to 1970. Nope. They were in the fact related to the father. They were in fact related on the father's side. Okay, so he was a Lonnie Johnson from probably a second at some point. So now, Garth Arger, you talking about, okay, Tommy. Legend has it Tommy, he sold his soul to the devil at Crossroads for music ability. Saw the movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Yep. You guys are killing me. Stay on track. So are Tommy Johnson and Lonnie Johnson, that you referenced, real people? As not real as the Tommy you talked about that sold his soul to the devil at Crossroads during the shooting of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Okay, the Super Soaker. Get back to the guy we're talking about. In 1982, while working in his spare time to develop an environmentally friendly heat pump, which would use water instead of Freon, he attached a nozzle to his bathroom sink. When he tested his invention, a powerful compressed stream of water shot across the room. His immediate thought was that would make a fantastic toy. The legend is real, man. Okay. Why would you think a high pressure stream of water shooting across your bathroom would be an excellent toy? So were yard darts or yard jarts or whatever you called them, but they weren't real safe. But they were a wonderful toy. After years of development and pitching the idea, he licensed the device to Laramie. Does it make a super flamethrower? The dudes are made of plastic, so you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, which I bet you realized once you figured out that a super soaker could be used as a flamethrower. And a can of hairspray is a good flamethrower too. Okay. he thought of a good toy. After years of development and pitching, he licensed the device to Laramie Corporation, originally named the Power Drencher. All right. It was rebranded as the Super Soaker in 1991 and quickly became the #1 selling toy in America, eventually generating over $1 billion in sales. And those are American dollars. So they can tell by the dollar sign. His patents are also based for the popular Nerf and Strike line of projectile launchers. All right, so we're going to skip down to here about the lawsuit. The lawsuit is an important part of Lonnie Johnson's story as it highlights the challenge inventors can face while dealing with large corporations. He was involved in a royalty dispute with the toy company Hasbro, which acquired Laramie, the original licensee for the Super Soaker. Licensee for the Super Soaker. The problem was Johnson accused Hasbro of failing to pay him the agreed upon royalties for the Super Soaker and several of his patented Nerf products, specifically the N-Strike and the Dart taglines. Now, yeah, hairspray doesn't have the range. It's more of a shotgun thing. You're right. More of a shotgun deal. All right, so I've never played with Nerf guns in such as a kid. Now, my kids had, I guess, a knockoff Super Soaker, you know, the Kmart brand. I don't think we ever bought them the like true honest to gosh Super Soaker. In fact, I've probably got one still downstairs, but I don't know how Super Soaker it works. But I remember one of them we bought that was really cool. You had this little base, and it was like a, I don't know. It had a base on it and the tube that stuck up. You put that on in the water hose, you turn the water on, and at the end of the tube was a stopper so the water didn't come shooting out. But you could take this water gun, stick the barrel down in the tube and press it, and it was an O-ring deal. And when you pressed it, it let the water shoot up into the gun backwards and fill the tank. So it was quick reload. You didn't have to unscrew a lid and hold it under the water hose or the spigot and let it trickle down into the thing and then screw the lid back on. You just walked up to that thing base and you shoved the barrel down into it and it filled it up. You pulled it out and you was pump, pump, pump and ready to go. Pretty cool. Of course, they all still had regular squirt guns that, you know, had the tank on the back and you unscrewed. And they used them in the pool. You know, we have one of those above ground round pools. Soak it, you know, dunk it under the water and let all the bubbles out and then fill it up and squirt it. Of course, you can't beat a garden hose. If you ever get in a squirt gun fight, just go to the garden hose. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so Johnson accused Hasbro of failing to pay him the agreed upon royalties. Yeah. The dispute centered on a previous 1996 settlement agreement. So apparently he has, or somebody has sued this company before and got another settlement. This agreement obligated Hasbro to pay royalties on, and this is the part I don't really understand, 2% for three-dimensional products, which are based upon the appearance of a current or past licensed item. The Super Soaker water guns that were visually similar to his original patent designs. And then another one, he gets 1% for two-dimensional visual representations, such as advertisements or logos. So, in a previous settlement, the court had awarded him 2% of royalties on items that physically looked like some of his previous patented items, his designs and toys that he had done and water guns he had. And then he'd get 1% of logos or advertisements that looked like other advertisements that used to advertise the aforementioned water guns and designs. I know. It blows my mind. Johnson's company, Johnson Research and Development Company was the name of it, argued that Hasbro sold numerous Super Soakers and Nerf products that were visually similar to or based on his patented technology without compensating him per the agreement. The unpaid royalties dated back to at least 2006. The dispute was resolved in Johnson's favor through arbitration in November 2013. You are correct, Roberta. Who did that? Was Robert the one that let the snake out of the bag on the year? Yes, but you were correct. All right, so he was awarded in November. Maybe that's why it's anniversary. Really, I mean, it's November, so 10, 12 years ago, he was awarded $73 million in unpaid royalties from Hasbro. Johnson's attorney stated that the arbitrator ruled totally in Lonnie's favor, and he was very pleased with the outcome. Well, yeah. The substantial settlement allowed Lonnie Johnson to continue dedicating his time and resources to his passion for science and engineering, particularly in the realm of clean energy and battery technology. So, this Super Soaker was an accident. Lonnie Johnson. All right. So there he is with the Super Soakers. I don't know what that is. This was probably a prototype. Because in the other article that I read, it talked about how he made it out of a pop bottle, some PVC, hoses, and stuff like that. There he goes. That's pretty cool. Wow. Can you see that thing? Hold on. Looks like he's got it hooked to a perpetual hose down here. He's letting it have it. Kind of looks like Denzel Washington. Huh. I don't know how many versions of those things there's been. All right. So that's what he looks like. That's the Super Soaker. All right. So let's go back to up here. So other than toys, he has been involved he started the company, Lonnie's With the success of the Super Soaker, Johnson founded his own firm, Johnson Research and Development Corporation and Company Incorporated, to focus on his long-term interests, advanced energy technology. Remember, he's a nuclear scientist, right? Yeah. So what, I mean, Robert says in the comments, anniversary makes sense for why it's coming back up. But a 12-year anniversary is kind of weird. You know, most of the time it's like 10 or 15, 20 years. But who knows what's going on with that. Lonnie Anderson has nothing to do with, well, nothing to do with this guy's invention. So yeah, Garthog, it looks like PVC in a 2-liter bottle. And I think that's, like I said, Grok went into a little bit different history of the Super Soaker, and I think that's how he started out. With O-rings, it talked about O-rings and piping with plastic bottles and stuff like that. Oh, you saw Lonnie Anderson while I was scrolling through there? I didn't notice. I was interested and focused on the story. Okay, so let's see. His long-term interests are advanced energy technology. Johnson Thermal Electrochemical Converter, JTEC, is one of his most significant ongoing projects. Its goal was to create a solid-state heat engine that can effectively convert waste heat directly to electrical energy, which would be really, really cool. It operates using the Ericsson thermodynamic cycle, compressing and expanding hydrogen gas through electromechanical means. The technology is being developed to be more efficient, non-intermittent green energy source that could potentially use solar power or industrial waste heat to generate electricity. It was named one of the top 10 world-changing innovations by Popular Mechanic in 2008. Where is it now? 2008. Where is it now? Don't know. Through his company, Johnson Energy Storage, he's got many companies, is also focused on developing a new generation of more efficient and sustainable rechargeable batteries. Lonnie Johnson currently holds 100 U.S. patents and was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame in 2020. So, very interesting, very smart guy. Did lots of interesting things, and hopefully, let's see, if he was born in 50, how old does that make him now? 100 years old. Oh, in 2050 he'll be 100 years old. So he's like 75 now, something like that. Let's see, 1950 plus 75, carry the 5 and the 7. Yeah, whatever. About 75, I think. So, let's see. As I promised, let's look at Lonnie Johnson. Jazz musician. All right, let's see what Lonnie Johnson, Another Night to Cry, sounds like. Let me know if you can hear that. Oh, what? Come on, scoot over here. Holy bejeebies, people. What are you trying to do to me here? I don't hear nothing. Skip it. Here we go. Guy's tie's kind of short. wiped off. Don't even have the tip on it no more.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You give me a great pleasure. It feels so good to pronounce a very nice musician. One of the best blues back in the early 20s. A boy that I know that strictly can put rhythm with blues and put blues with rhythm, you know? Because it's a wonderful solo with the blues, with the soul. When I mean soul, I mean soul. I'm going to bring him to the bandstand by pronouncing his name under this name. The one and only Lonnie Johnson.
It looks like Mr. Miyagi in a way.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Well, another night to cry. Baby, just crying over you. Well, I've got another night to cry. Another night to cry over you. You hurt me so bad and so long, and there's nothing I can do. I'm so in love with you, and you know it, and I can't help myself. Yes, I'm so in love with you, and you know it, and I can't help myself.
All right. So that was good. So Lonnie Johnson, the blues jazz musician, was pretty good. That's all right. Okay, so we learned a couple things this evening. Super Soaker guy was almost cheated out of, what, 73 million buckaroonies? But he prevailed and, made good with it. And that Lonnie Johnson, the jazz musician from, I guess, I don't know, what do you say? From in the 20s? I mean, I don't know how old he was when he made that video, but that video wasn't made in the 1920s. But anyway, he sung good blues. And we also learned that, some inventions might just be all wet. But they're still good inventions. Still good inventions. All right. Let me get that. Oh, come on. Get back. Oh, quit it. I think you do this to me on purpose. I know you do. Stop it. There we go. Had to get rid of that one little corner that's over here. It was where? Oh, right down this edge right here. Why have I lost my finger? Stop it. It was over there. Had to get rid of it. All right. So, appreciate y'all watching. If you made it this far, thank you guys for coming around. Garthog and Roberto. Liveling up the chit chat there, confusing me and taking me like way off course. Garthog's talking about the Tuskegee Airmen trained in Tuskegee Army Airfield during the 1940s, and Lonnie Johnson was born in 1949. I guessed about 50. That's all right. Garthog's already saying toodles. Roberto says la eight or la eight or later. I got it. Yep. See you guys, gals, later. Just so you'll know, I had put out a new video here the other night. Look for it under the playlist of odds and ends. It's about me trying to fix that poor old beat up granny's lawnmower that I've got, and trying to get the rest of the season out of it, which hopefully maybe one more mow, maybe two. Then I'm going to try to work on my big mower and see why it died and crapped out on me and doesn't want to start. So anyway, alrighty then. Until next Thursday, or until I get another video out, like, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and family about it. And, alright. Have a good weekend.